Bad day? Or should I say bad couple of weeks? Where have you been this time?
Where else? Been trying to get rid of this thing. The 8th Hellraiser movie is worse than I thought, and I can't escape it unless I finish the review or destroy the limit configuration, which is apparently impossible. I tried everything. I tried abandoning it in different dimensions, and it would just appear back to me. I went to the Century Club, John Constantine, the BPRD, Shazam, Doctor Strange, and even the Council of Frickin' Reeds. They couldn't destroy it.
Couldn't? Or they kicked you out instead of helping you?
I should did the latter. This is Hellworld. While this one wasn't made from a non-Hellraiser spec script, it still isn't an original Hellraiser script. It was adapted from a treatment called Dark Can't Breathe by Joel Soyson. While he is a good producer, he doesn't exactly inspire confidence when it comes to his writing. Also, this was made back to back with Dada, released only 3 months later. You know there is a reason why there's a lot of time between sequels, right? One of them being to learn from your mistakes pointed out by critics and actually try to make the next one better. Man, I thought Amityville was kind of close. No. Amityville is still worse when it comes to that. The movie begins with the pip of the story, Adam, who killed himself and dug his own grave. At his funeral, his friends, Blondie, British Hot Topic cashier, big shaggy hair guy, and little shaggy hair guy, say it has something to do with his addiction of the Hellraiser MMO, Hellworld. No, really, they call it a game addiction, and not game compulsion. And how do you die from that? I get it, some depressive trains of thought could lead to killing yourself, but this movie is saying that his obsession with the game killed him. Is this a Hellraiser movie or an anti-video game / internet PSA? Blondie gets up to look inside the coffin, because Anne gets the jump scare she was practically waiting for. Seriously, Freddy? No means no. It was disgusting when you did it then, and it's disgusting when you do it now. Do I have to send you to a sexual harassment seminar for the 9th time? We then skip ahead to 2 years later and get another jump scare within less than 2 minutes.
What's up, Mike?
What? Paid to grab $100 for this thing on the internet. Didn't it scare you at all?
Mike, Cenobites don't exist. And even if they did, I never opened the Lamont configuration, which, as we know, isn't really real anyway.
You talk pretty good.
Unbelievable. No, she hasn't. You guys are supposed to be addicts of this game, huge fans of Hellraiser lore. And you can't even pronounce the name of the most important part of the franchise. Lament isn't even some fantastical made-up word. It's an actual word you would hear every now and then. Only a few minutes in, I'm already pissed off. So big shaggy hair guy goes online to play the game, and instead of playing the MMO that's been built up since the movie started, he instead plays some crappy flash opening the box game, which results in him getting an invitation to a party that doesn't even include the place's state. Look, I did grow up during the transition between this internet and post-Apple Empire internet, but 2005's internet wasn't this bad, especially when it came to computer games. So, yeah, this movie is just being as cheap as it can get instead of representing the internet and games properly. Hell, in the next scene with Token Black and British Hot Topic cashier, they make it seem like a fast-paced, extremely hard MMO with the way they react to it. And then we clearly see the final level is as easy as a leapfrog game. Whatever. They get their invitations, Blondie doesn't want to go, and then decides to go, taking everyone there the very next day. Yeah, make one of your characters a hypocrite and don't resolve the issue at any point in the film. Thanks, movie. You sure know what you're doing. So they make it to Leviathan House to attend the Hellworld party, which doesn't look nearly as dignified as one of Lord Naughtie's parties. And our characters don't treat it as such.
Gratuitous tit shot. Necessary tit shot.
You're not Scream, and you never will be. Acknowledging that something is a poor cliche does not justify your obvious use of it. That's lazy self-awareness. I'm so happy to know that this horror film has the same mindset as Kung Fu Dino Posse. After little shaggy guy comes in, who came for hypocritical reasons like Blondie, we learn that the party is hosted by Lance Hendrickson. There is a good reason why he's playing the host. He was originally going to be Frank Cotton, but decided to go with Near Dark instead. Well, equal trade really. Hendrickson invites those 5 newcomers specifically to his office because... protagonists. His office is considered a Hellraiser museum, so of course he lets a bunch of idiots touch his possibly expensive collectibles and fail at being comedians.
Who's the pretty kitty? You're the pretty kitty. Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
This is where the shit hits the fan, guys.
I wear Cenobite.
Sorry. Wait, I live this way.
Keep in mind what some of them are touching. Hendrickson isn't subtle about what's to come.
Knock yourselves out.
Apparently, these newcomers are so special, he takes them on a tour of the Leviathan House, specifically downstairs in the Overkill Laboratory, talking about how the house was designed by Mershon, who wasn't an architect, as a convent that was run last by a sex and puzzle box obsessed nun, and then as a haunted asylum for the criminally insane after the nuns disappeared, and of course the patients dismembered themselves once they were locked in a room together. It's almost like the filmmakers were desperately trying to pitch this film and its location as the inspiration for Universal's Halloween Horror Nights 15. Anything else about this super duper scary house we should know about?
It was built on an ancient Indian burial ground and was the setting of satanic rituals, witch burnings, and 5 John Denver Christmas specials.
Oh, John Denver.
Henriksen becomes even more subtle when he sticks a pin in Blondie, and then she sees Pinhead, who honestly just sounds like he's saying one-liners recorded for the Hellworld game. Yep, 7 movies sucked the coolness right out of him, and Hellraiser 8's got the last drop. Henriksen introduces them to some masks and phones they could use to have normal sex. But they're honestly not that important. They're just there to include the only little bit of Hellraiser's original theme and establish that they've been given mobile phones. Everything else involving the phones and masks is just a bunch of American Pie Halloween edition antics. They don't even do it right anyway, since the phones have caller ID and everyone keeps taking off their masks. The plot actually gets moving when British Hot Topic cashier enters a room that literally says keep out and basically goofs off in a room with no one there. And of course sits in a chair that traps her in. You know, I think I could forgive this movie if the organization was behind this and filled that room with marijuana vapors. The film moved on from pretending to be Scream and is now trying to be Saw once Henriksen activates the saws attached to the chair aimed at British Hot Topic cashier's neck. But then the director realizes it's meant to be a Hellraiser film all along and quickly pushes Doug Bradley on set to say a one-liner. Meanwhile, Blondie thinks she sees Adam and follows him to a room where our so-called protagonists will remain trapped for most of the movie. Little shaggy hair guy is sulking that his online chat room date hasn't called him and comes across Henriksen, who gives him Adam's replica of the lament configuration since Adam was his best friend. But it actually pops out with CGI nails and he suddenly sees Pinhead. Keep this in mind, everyone. He starts noticing things like Henriksen burying bodies and people ignoring him because that's an antisocial misanthrope's worst fear? Yep. It's also trying to be Nightmare on Elm Street now. Guys, that's not exactly a pretty combination. You know what would fix that? Making a Hellraiser movie! After getting through a bunch of antics, we finally get to something necessary about Token Black. His grinding dance causes an asthma attack. Yeah, it was established very briefly in the beginning that he has asthma. And so he accidentally loses his inhaler, somehow managing to not die while going down all those stairs to get it. Okay, I know he's going down the stairs, but at best, this is what should have happened.
Where are we? It looks like we're in the teens somewhere.
But when we get to 20, tell me. I'm gonna throw up.
So once Token Black gets his inhaler, he decides to lie down on a gurney of all places, and fuck! Now that's an image that'll piss any Hellraiser fan off. Pinhead's full of anger and effort, actually holding a weapon. Not some eldritch torture device. A knife of all things. A cleaver. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Cenobites aren't slashers. Their lives are dedicated to what they see as hedonism, which they prefer to take their time with. They would see swift killings as something petty they wouldn't be bothered with. Plus, they don't have the emotion to do this. Slashers do what they do and keep coming back because they're fueled by rage. Cenobites no longer have an ounce of rage in them and would see it as a pointless concept in the way of their only purpose. Pinhead would not bother to put in the effort to lift a cleaver, especially when he has supernatural abomination telekinesis powers. Moving on, little shaggy hair guy has sex with a nun. Slow, boring sex remind me that The Devils has more to do with the themes of Hellraiser than Hellworld. Anyway, the police arrive after getting a call from Blondie, and she tries to get their attention, but they don't see her, hinting at what's really going on. They don't bother to do anything since they think it's just drugs. Yeah, the police don't do anything when they suspect she's high on drugs. The police!
Definitely drugs. Probably speed or meth.
Yep. fun stuff. Don't worry about it. It's not like you're illegal or anything. The door unlocks though, and we cut to big shaggy hair guy being locked in the overkill laboratory by his fuck buddy for no apparent reason. He discovers Token Black's body, being a douchebag by thinking it's just a decoration. But then he realizes it really is him when he sees that the body was pulled apart and sees his hemorrhage. Not at all a good reveal or jump scare, because we saw it the whole time he was looking at the body. And don't you dare give this movie credit by saying it was just an example of dramatic irony. Because if it were, the filmmakers would have brought more attention to it. Knowing these filmmakers, they would have probably shoved it in our faces. Nope, the filmmakers were just being lazy. And they decided to be lazy again by making the big-ass movable hook the murder weapon. Hell, it wouldn't surprise me if they told themselves, "It's okay, we blatantly foreshadowed earlier. There's no way these hell losers would be on nerd rage at us for including such an unrealistic and disappointing weapon and got a demonic and powerful Cenobite to kill and not torture a character with it in such a goofy way. Doobie-doobie-doo, we're so talented." Yes, we would. Although more people today would be glad you killed the West Superman. Also, Pinhead appears again. Blondie escapes to the forest outside and gets in a car that obviously wouldn't start.
Like a bad horror movie, isn't it?
Movie? Were you listening? You're not. Scream. I know you're having trouble being a Hellraiser movie, but you can try. No, even when you did try, you failed. So she escapes the forest, finds an actual competent police officer who dies from a frickin' spike thrown or stabbed by the Dark Prince of Pain himself, Pinhead, like a slasher.
What happened to you, man? Used to be cool.
I'm still cool.
Nah, you've changed, man.
Blondie goes back after hearing a call from little shaggy hair guy, really Herrickson, somehow changing his voice. Please don't tell me they're going to rip off Scream 3 now. Blondie finds the house and tries to find little shaggy hair guy, with him trying to find her, able to call each other though. Blondie starts to see chatter, and her friend says, "Frankenstein deadites?"
Gently extend your arm. Extend your middle finger. Very good.
Whatever. She gets chased by them into a room that she locks and gets a phone call from Herrickson, provoking her to say this.
Why don't I just go ahead and call you Pinhead?
If that's what you want to think.
So you are Pinhead, right? Let me guess, you're going to rip off your face and morph into some franchise icon, right? Give me a break, you don't know Hellworld from your ass.
Then how come you're in it?
Get your mythology right, buddy. First I have to open the box, then Pinhead appears.
Really? Guess I have to follow rule 3 then. You're not fucking Scream. The fact that you have to point out a problem you couldn't bother to fix earlier just shows your movie has failed since it started. Little shaggy hair guy thinks he accidentally killed Blondie when he saw chatter, but of course it's a frickin' fake out. But after she calls him, trying to make us feel sympathy for her by blabbing on about hell and the dangers of game compulsion, because of course playing video games means you're going to hell, just ask any religious moral extremist, he realizes that she's fine. While in the office, he just now starts to put the pieces together about what's really going on. Again, keep this in mind. I'm sure you'll love the twist. Blondie finds a photo that reveals parts of the twist. But then she thinks he's dying while he tries to get her to realize it's a fake out. Once they get back together, little shaggy hair guy explains that it's a trap, and Blondie explains with the photo she found that Herrickson is Adam's dad.
It's not true. That's impossible.
I don't know, Luke. I think it would be pretty cool to have Bishop as a dad. They do try to kill him, but the filmmakers decided to make this even more of a Nightmare on Elm Street ripoff by having him come back to life and popping all over the place saying boo. Yep, This is what the Hellraiser franchise has come to. A frickin' boo. Blondie and Little Shaggy Hair Guy come across some new graves with breathing pipes stuck in, allowing Henriksen to reveal the twist.
Now are you guys ready for this? I mean it. I'm ready to call this the worst twist in film history. I'm not kidding. Even M. Night Shyamalan wouldn't sink this low. Ready? The majority of this movie was a bad trip.
Yep. Henriksen drugged them with some super duper psychedelic with the things they touched, drank, or just things he forced upon them, buried them with their phones so they could talk to each other in their shared hallucination, and so he can influence their hallucination in order to kill them, as revenge for the death of his son he never visited, even though they never truly directly caused his suicide. British Hot Topic cashier gouged her neck herself, Token Black died from an asthma attack, Big Shaggy Hair Guy died from fright, somehow, and according to Henriksen, so will Little Shaggy Hair Guy and Blondie. He controlled, and they imagined, everything, including Pinhead, after the tour, rendering 95% of the movie pointless.
So many things wrong with this. I made a list.
1. Psychedelic drugs don't work that way. In any of the ways he said. They're not that powerful. The characters can't share a hallucination, especially not one that vivid. And he wouldn't be able to influence one that vivid. 2. Crappy 2000s Nokia phones don't work that way. They can't hold on to multiple calls for that long, and they would have run out of charge very soon. 3. He hated the fact that the game drove his son to suicide, and yet somehow got close to the game makers to let him host parties as an end-level prize. 4. Why couldn't he just somehow invite them specifically, rather than host many parties that won't have his victims until much later? Plus, when they do come around, he's now stuck with tons of potential witnesses who would likely see him burying his victims a few feet away from his house. 5. What if they never came? What if they never got to the last level, or decide to not go to the party like Blondie and Little Shaggy Hair Guy until they let the hypocrisy control them? Then his plan would have been a complete waste of time. 6. He drugged a lot of things in his office. What if they weren't douchebags and didn't touch his stuff, or didn't accept his drinks? Those who didn't had their drugs forced upon them, and look how subtle that was. 7. Even though he said most of it was their imagination filling in the blanks, he also said he was behind most of the experiences they were thinking of, including the sexual ones. Not a plot hole, just gross. 8. How did he get them outside without any of the guests noticing? They're drunk, but they're not that drunk. 9. Most of what they were doing in their heads was simultaneous. How did he keep up influencing all of them via phone when they were all alive? 10. Not all of their deaths would have worked. The asthma attack, sure. The gouging would only happen if you were that scared and strong. And if you were under the influence, told circular saws were touching your neck, you wouldn't make that real by gouging your neck. You would just panic. And death by fright? Heart attack maybe, but you can't really force that unless they're really out of shape. 11. If he was capable of drugging them, why not just poison them with those methods? 12. Why did he get them to find clues about who he is and what's going on? 13. Avoid all the variables and just shoot them in their homes. 14. Fuck this movie.
So yeah, not only is the entire film pointless, but it didn't even need to be a Hellraiser film at all. Sure, that saved Pinhead from being a slasher and making that canon, but the fact that those so-called fans still imagine him as a slasher just makes me sick.
The police do find the graves by morning, and Blondie and Little Shaggy Hair Guy survive so they can end up together, even though they truly didn't get to know each other. But that's not the end. Nope. The stupidity hasn't stopped. First, it's implied that Adam's ghost called the cops. Second, his dad opens the real lament configuration. Yep, it is real in the movie. Probably thrown in as a last Hail Mary to make sure fans don't form an angry mob. Turns out Adam was so obsessed with the game that he found the real lament configuration and killed himself to escape the Cenobite. Honestly, that sounds like a better Hellraiser movie. Whatever, we're stuck with this one. So he opens the box backwards, and the real Pinhead and Cenobites appear. But even though they're the real ones, there's still apparently slashes in this film, since they slice him apart into CGI baloney. I'm seriously not going to repeat myself about how Cenobites torture and not directly kill those who summon them. Clearly no one's going to learn.
I'm giving this the same grade as Hellseeker. Between D- and F.
Yeah, I don't view it as worse than Hellseeker. Just the same, but for different reasons. While Hellseeker frustrated me with its fake outs and its portrayal of Kersey, Hellworld did for its incompetence and making most of the movie pointless, even more than Dada. Some people, probably the filmmakers, would try to defend that by saying critically acclaimed films like American Psycho did the same. But no, it doesn't. Not exactly. Yes, most of the movie is in his head, but there's a point to it. Hell, it is a point. We're following the story in his head that's also a disturbing character study, and it makes a lot of sense once the twist is revealed. But here, more questions are raised than answered. All of the story in their heads is just a slasher film with them as the fodder, and we don't learn anything about their psyches. It really is utterly pointless. And throwing in the real Cenobites in the end doesn't help. It just shows how much this film wasn't meant to be a Hellraiser film. If you're going to use Pinhead, use him wisely. Let's not forget about the mismatching of rip-offs here. It tries to excuse itself and appeal to the fans with the madness of Scream, keep up with the times with the uncreative kills of Saw, and the ridiculousness of the dream sequences of Nightmare on Elm Street. Well, not to its full extent, but close.
Oh well, at least there's still the original 1930s Hellraiser and its Hammer remake to enjoy.
Miss, search for Clive Barker on Wikipedia.
Okay. Clive Barker, born 1954. Sorry guys, got universes mixed up again. Happy New Year's, I guess.
So if the liminal configuration is finished with you, what are you going to do with it now?
To be honest, the only reason I never went after it was because I didn't want to go through the torture. But now that I actually went through it, I guess I could keep it. Although, I would like to have some fun with it first.
Australia? I'm not expecting a package from Australia. Diva, did you order more koala meat?
It's entirely possible.